Marcel, where are you going with that disc? You are not putting that on again. Marcel, okay, if you press that button, you are in very, very big trouble.
Attention. Everybody stop what you're doing. It's time for The Unwritten Rule, a Mizzou sports podcast brought to you by the Believe Network, alongside Payton Haverman and Kenny Van Doren. Here is your host, Jack Knowlton.
Welcome back to The Unwritten Rule, presented by FanDuel. Today is Friday. I haven't said Friday in a while. April 24th. We're going to talk some Mizzou football. Going to kind of maybe reminisce a little bit, maybe do some looking ahead to the 2026 season, but we're going to do that through the lens of the thing that is already underway by the time you're watching this or listening to this podcast, but is not yet underway for the versions of ourselves who are on your screen right now. We're recording this Wednesday night. Timing's a little bit tough with our show. It always has been, but it's the NFL draft, which kicks off Thursday. So we do not yet know whether one of the bigger questions for Mizzou in this draft, whether Zion Young was maybe a first round pick. Maybe you know. Well, you definitely know. I meant maybe he is, maybe he isn't.
That's what my quick
spoiler alert
is.
And spoiler alert, I'm going to make you guys guess what team he would get drafted to in the first round at the end of this. But thought we could just talk a little NFL draft as it relates to Mizzou. The first thing I wanted to just like bring up and get your guys' take on, I feel like I think we do a pretty good job of it. We've always been pretty into the draft and talking about the Mizzou prospects and stuff like that. But I like doing it as an appreciation piece for Eli Drinkwitz. I kind of like the draft success feels like it should continue to be considered like a model for building a successful program. And yet again, you look at these guys that can get drafted for Mizzou. We're talking about another borderline first rounder. You go back to just a year ago, they had the 7th overall pick of the second round. What was it? 7 guys drafted in 2024. I mean, Drinkwitz has done a pretty good job turning these guys into draft picks. And I feel like that does say a lot, as obvious as it might sound about where the program's headed. But I feel like some people forget that at times. Like, this is an important part, and maybe the transfer portal impacts that. I don't know if either of you have a thought there. The transfer portal impacting it in the sense that, sometimes these guys are only at Mizzou for a season, but I just feel like he's done a pretty good job. This is one of the most successful periods of getting players drafted after this season that Mizzou's had, certainly this century. I mean, at least in the last 15, 20 years, I would say.
Well, I mean, they had that stretch like in the early 2010s where it felt like they had a D lineman going in the first round for fun every year, it felt like. But certainly Drink has done a great job. I mean, it kind of speaks to the talent he's been able to bring in to the program. And in certain cases, like really developing and coaching it up. I mean, Armand Membu wasn't like a household name. He wasn't even the highest rated prospect on his high school team when he committed to Mizzou. And they turned him into an all-world lineman at Mizzou and a top 10 pick, as you mentioned, who had a very good rookie season. I mean, Brady Cook didn't have a great year in the NFL, but he started NFL games after being a 3-star, very unheralded. And yes, Drink didn't really technically that's a Barry Odom recruit, but again, you can't really fault Drinkwitz for being able to coach him up. I mean, Luther Burden you get a 5-star in your program, you want to put him in the league, but they were able to give him a good enough career to get him drafted early enough, still not as early as he probably should have been, but early enough. So that's the mark of a good program, even, is getting that kind of talent and putting it in the league. I mean, Ennis Rakestraw was a second rounder. I mean, he was definitely a late riser. They had Texas and Nick Saban was going to visit him at his house, but Missouri was able to get a 3-star and turn him into a second-round draft pick. I mean, Chris Abrams-Drain, a receiver who flipped a corner and got drafted and is still with the team that drafted him. It's been a very, very good feather in Drink's cap. I know there's still frustrations. For some reason, everyone is just so angry about the football program. It feels like half the time.
No, an SEC fan base angry about its football program.
Yeah, but I mean, we kind of have to put into perspective just kind of the growth and like things are pretty. Like Drink's done a very good job of putting guys in the league, especially for. I know everyone doesn't want to hear it. Missouri is not a top flight SEC football job. It's a hard job, and Drinkwitz has done a great job of getting NFL level talent into the program and developing guys that go to the league.
And the one thing I've kind of taken from this year specifically is that the 6 guys that are most likely to get drafted for Mizzou, and maybe someone else slips in there like last year. I don't think many of us were expecting Marcus Bryant to be selected by the Patriots in the 7th round. All these guys are transfers, and I think that just speaks to the character and to the message from Mizzou the past 3 years. Go back to 2023 when Drinkwitz and that staff turned around the image of the program, and it was that year. He gets the Cotton Bowl, and this Mizzou team can win games now. And I think probably let's say 4 or 5 years ago when you were looking at NFL draft prospects, sometimes it'd be a worry if a guy kept jumping around or had transferred multiple times. And now you kind of see it as, okay, this guy went to a new environment, a new space, and he turned into an NFL draft prospect that speaks more highly about the player and highly about the place. So I think overall this has to be such a successful draft class, no matter where these guys end up. If Zion falls to the 2nd round, if he's taken late in the 1st round by some of these teams he's been mocked to, the Bears, the Chiefs, the Texans, whoever it may be, no matter what, it's going to be a success. And even Drinkwitz has joked about it, that he said that Chris McClellan and Toriano Pride were his guys. And I looked it up because we had brought up that before, and I was wondering if that Chris McClellan one was true. He OV'd Mizzou before he committed to Florida, which I didn't know back in high school. And I thought the other one that would make the most sense there was Zion, because Zion did come down to Michigan State and Mizzou. But those are guys that considered Mizzou the first time. Mizzou circled back. And this was before Mizzou was, started losing guys like high-ranking recruits to the transfer portal in that 2024, 2025 classes. And they just always kept circling back. And it kind of just ties into, as long as Drinkwitz is there, I'm sure they'll keep circling back on guys. If a guy like Myson Johnson Cook, who's going to announce his commitment at the end of this week, he's not going to come to Mizzou. If down the road, if it doesn't work out wherever he goes, Mizzou still has that connection. That bridge is not burned. I know that for a fact. And the staff, still likes him. It's just not going to work out in Mizzou's favor right now in the high school recruiting ranks. That's guys just an example, but there's plenty others, that Mizzou can always circle back on, and they can prove, they can show Zion's draft grade, they can show Chris McClellan's jump, they can show Toriano Pride's second half of his senior year at Mizzou. And overall, it's just going to be such a successful year. It's going to be a successful 3 days for Mizzou to just promote these guys.
Yeah, I mean, Luther Burden is like, and I guess Membu as well are really some of the only two you have that old school kind of development from the beginning for. And again, Burden is a 5-star prospect. You want to put him in the league, like Payton said. Circle back U is what it sounds like we might be dubbing this team. Not a bad thing to be, as Drinkwitz has shown. I looked back. So in that 2024 draft, they had 6 guys. They've only done that twice since the year 2000. It was in 2015, and I think 2009 is the other one. So, not a thing that happens frequently. Of course, last year's a testament. You won't have a guy drafted in the top 10, but Payton, again, we don't have to talk too long on this because, of course, maybe people know where he landed if he did get picked in the first round. But put your NFL brain on for a minute. I'm gonna throw you this one because your team is one of the teams that Kenny mentioned for Mr. Zion Young. You look at that end of the first round, what team gets you excited other than the Bears, or maybe along with the Bears, if Zion Young were to sneak into day one, or is to sneak into day one, or I guess has snuck into day one and is maybe drafted? Where does he land? Where's his best spot?
I'm not sure why this has happened, but I don't think he's going first round anymore.
Okay.
Because I looked through a ton of mock drafts going into the show today because I needed a quick hit. And he was not in any of them in the first round. Even Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft, who's normally a pretty plugged-in guy, he put one out about an hour before we recorded. Zion Young is not in it. So I don't know. The Bears do actually make sense because Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator, likes bigger, kind of meaner defensive ends. That's kind of the mold Zion Young is. Certainly seems like a fit, but I don't know. It for whatever reason, after being pretty solidly in, it seems like he's tailed off the last few days.
I guess we'll have to see where he falls. Again, we might not know. We might get to we might get to Sunday and we'll have to talk about him as a day 2 guy. Of course, Kenny mentioned the 6 names along with Zion Young, Josiah Trotter, Kevin Coleman, Chris McClellan, Keegan Trost, Toriano Pride Jr. The other just fun question I had looking back, kind of reflecting on these guys' times at Mizzou, is if you have any favorite moments for any of them that stand out. I mean, Zion Young, obviously the scoop and score against Oklahoma. It's hard to be topped by just about anybody, but it was fun to watch all these guys develop. I think like you two could probably guess who I would pick for this, to talk about and rant and rave about. And it's not a single moment, but I think Josiah Trotter is going to make a team so happy on day 2 of this draft. I really think he just has it. He's got that NFL pedigree. He just brings so much juice. I think like you talk about a guy who benefited, he was injured and able to turn his career around so fast and still go to the draft really after only 3 years out of high school. I think speaks to his confidence. I'm going to miss his tackling so much. And I hope a good franchise picks him up that I can root for him on. Cause that guy was I think will be so underrated as a Mizzou guy of the Drinkwitz era because he was only there for 1 season. I will miss Josiah Trotter. I don't know if I want to pick like a favorite, but he might be one of my favorite Mizzou exports wherever he goes.
Won't miss his pass coverage. Haha, just kidding. That's a joke. Don't hate me. I'm totally kidding.
I'll jump in. Do you know who's a really good pass coverage linebacker? Chad Bailey. That goes unnoticed, goes unremembered.
My pick is going to be Zion Young's entire game against Auburn, particularly the overtime. Everyone remembers the coin toss, and the fact that Auburn let that happen right in front of them on their own field is kind of spoke to where that program was under Hugh Freeze. It was not good. But it wasn't just that. He wrecked that, but I think he had a sack on both Auburn drives in overtime. He had the one that sealed it, I'm pretty sure, as well. Damon Wilson was in there as well on one of them, but Zion Young really, I mean, when we walked into last year, we weren't 1,000% sure they were going to be able to perfectly replicate what Johnny Walker was, because Damon Wilson was coming in. He was a very highly touted guy. People were counting on him to make a jump as a starter for the first time. But I don't know, Johnny Walker had 9.5 sacks or something the year before. Zion Young was good, a good compliment, but really I think he only had 3 or 4 sacks his first year with Mizzou. Boy, I think I said that they had to recreate Johnny Walker in the aggregate was the line I used.
Oh yeah, that's the all-time one.
Boy, was I wrong. I mean, those two both are going to be sorely missed because I don't know if they perfectly match Johnny Walker's numbers, but they were both damn good, both as good as Johnny Walker. It was 2 Johnny Walkers coming off the edge.
I love that. I'm glad we got to reference that. Going back to, I remember there were some people saying "Oh, can we really trust Damon Wilson too?"
Yeah.
And I mean, I was in that camp too of maybe Ahmad Hardy didn't really play against SEC competition, and then he was the best running back in the SEC last year.
I think a lot of the Wilson stuff too is everyone just thought, another edge rusher from Georgia is just going to get hurt like poor Darius Smith did. It's just going to be, we're just not going to have him.
which is not productive thinking.
Yeah.
But I mean, now we're actually going to have to see Mizzou recreate both of those guys somehow. And I'll be honest, there's no chance they're going to do it. Okay, I'm sorry. Langdon Kitchen and Darius Smith are not going to be Zion Young and Damon Wilson. Although I do like Darius Smith. Darius Smith had a great year as their third edge rusher guy for the most part. Even though, I mean, he plays such a unique role
big
on
leap.
the defensive line in general. Like, he wasn't just a straight edge rusher half the time. It's very interesting how they've utilized DNs. And I think Batoon is going to have his hands even more full this year and is going to have to get even more creative with it.
My best memory, best play, something it probably was the most exciting from this group that wasn't that Auburn game. And I think it's a play that kind of goes forgotten a little bit because he didn't score. But
I know what you're going to say. Yup.
Kevin Coleman's 50-yard reception. And it's hard to say that's 50-yard reception because it was more like he caught it from like 5 yards over the middle, and then he turned it into 50 yards. He was down at the 2. Mizzou kicks the field goal against Kansas to end the first half. And you go up, you tie it there, 21-21 going into halftime. And after a pretty disastrous start.
Oh, my God.
Bo Bueller throwing his hands up above his head. It was a terrible start. And that was just the perfect ending. And watching that play, it's like, oh my God, did they find someone as good as Luther to wear that number 3 and the yards after catch? And it didn't work out as much. And I talked to Jacob Infante about this.
Play.
Yeah. And I talked to Jacob Infante about this. How do you assess someone like Kevin Coleman when he didn't really have above par? I mean, everything was subpar in the quarterback play down the stretch, especially late into the SEC conference. He was a guy who was sick in his last college football game as well. I mean, how do you assess that? And he has a lot of gradings that go into it as well, of grading the quarterback play along with the wide receiver play. You can't just bump someone down a wide receiver board just because his quarterback couldn't pass him the ball. I mean, that was the case for Bo Bueller. It just didn't work out there. And he's still pretty high on Kevin Coleman in this draft, being someone in that probably those middle rounds, 3, 4, or 5.
Yeah, that's a great pick. I almost mentioned that as well.
Kevin Coleman also maybe the best of the bunch in terms of showing how likable he is. I did the quick hit with him, talking about his conversation with Matt Ryan when he met with the Falcons. And if you actually watch that clip, he just seems like a happy guy. I don't know. I think he was maybe an underrated part a little bit of that locker room in terms of he is been everywhere. I mean, he was one of the Deion flashy additions at Jackson State. He goes to Louisville, Mississippi State. That's a guy whose career probably didn't go the way he was anticipating as such a high recruit. It seems like he learned a lot from it and kind of just feels like he's got a good attitude about things. And I don't know, that makes me excited to root for him.
I mean, honestly, if he had his way, he probably would have been a Tiger all 4 years.
Yeah?
But very publicized, or not publicized, but pretty known in Mizzou circles why that.
Rumored well.
Right.
I was going to say it kind of ties back into what I mentioned earlier, where 5 years ago, this would be looked as possibly a problem that he played for 4 different schools. But he figured it out. I mean, he was, like you mentioned, Jack, I don't think there was really anyone that disliked Kevin Coleman.
It did seem like
it feels like they probably wasted him at times just because they couldn't get the quarterback play really active. And you look at the Texas A&M game and you're not, going to talk about a freshman quarterback being back there coming off a serious leg injury in his senior year. But there just wasn't many opportunities to really shine late into the year.
Yeah, I think he has the chance to make it team happy. Kind of show what a little bit similar to what Theo Wees ended up doing. Okay, I have my looking ahead to 2026 kind of prompt off of this. And Payton, I am going to exclude the defensive end room from this because of how good Zion Young was. And now you already kind of touched on it, so that makes my call even easier. The question I have for you guys, you talk about replacing a player in the aggregate. Among the group of returners coming back for Mizzou in some of the positions for the guys getting drafted, I was going to ask which one was the hardest to replace. I wrote down kind of the top starters and projected starters and backups for And you're welcome to pick. We didn't talk about Toriana Pride. You're welcome to pick cornerback. I wrote down the positions for linebacker, offensive lineman with Keegan Trost gone, another guy we haven't mentioned who could maybe hear his name called in the NFL draft, and then wide receiver with Theo Wees, or not Theo Wees, with Kevin Coleman Jr. So, I mean, receiver depth. This is also just kind of an excuse to mention these guys' names and refamiliarize, frankly, myself and maybe some others who hasn't looked at a depth chart in a while. Receivers, Donovan Olubade, Caleb Goody. I also went off of Kyle's. Kenny, I went off his projected depth chart.
Oh my gosh, I haven't thought about Caleb Goody since he committed, probably.
Donovan Olubade, Caleb Goody on the outside, Caden Lee in the slot, as well as Demarion Folks. I forget if it's Kenrich or I think it's Kenrich Lanier. Outside receiver, Sean Terry in the slot. Defensive tackle, Chris McClellan's another guy we didn't mention. Marquise Gracial, Jalen Marshall, Dante Simpson, Mark Hensley, the top four there. And then linebacker, Robert Woodyard, Nick Rodriguez, Jeremiah Beasley, Dante McClellan. I'm not going to read all of the offensive linemen, but, tackles, Caden Green, maybe Josh Adkins. That's a big injury question. But you hear those position groups and think about the guys who are gone from them. Which one is the biggest void for you, given the talent that left and the talent that is now there for Mizzou?
I mean, that's a good question because they have had a lot of turnover. This is going to be a year of turnover. Hopefully not literally, but rather roster turnover. I mean, they had to pretty much raise the wide receiver room outside of Olubade to the ground. I mean, they lost not even just to the draft, but to the portal. They lost quite a few guys. So that seeing who's going to step up as kind of the Kevin Coleman, who's the go-to guy out there is going to be interesting. I think you'd like for it to be Olubade or Caden Lee, but Olubade is going to be a true sophomore in the SEC, drawing top assignment possibly. Caden Lee's going to, I think, play more slot. We'll see how that goes going into the season. I am kind of confident in that, especially with the addition of Lee. I'm a big Caden Lee fan. I think his connection with Austin Simmons is going to work very, very well for them. O-line is kind of interesting. I mean, you're replacing your right tackle for the third year in a row. You're replacing your center who played a bazillion games there. Granted, they weren't very good games for the most part, but still very experienced starter who's gone now.
It's a sad bit we're losing too, by the way, going into next season.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think I'll get over not having the bit anymore very quickly. I'm going to go with D tackle, though, just because with the edge rushers being a question mark to me, I think that makes the interior even all the more important.
I was hoping you'd pick this one, by the way.
Yeah, I am Marquise Gracial super fan. I love Marquise Gracial. He does the dirty work. He's a great gap eater. He showed a little more juice than I expected as kind of as a pass rusher last year. And he had one of the more underrated plays in the season last year against Auburn when Auburn was at the 1 on 3rd and goal, and he just blew a handoff up and forced them to kick a field goal. Missouri goes on to win that game. So I am very confident that Marquise Gracial can be a good player, but can he be Chris McClellan? That's kind of the question for me. And can Jalen Marshall, who, yes, also had a memorable play in Mizzou circles by saving Mizzou from.
We'll have an easy one for him if he gets drafted. Yeah.
Yeah. Highlight reels forever by tackling Proctor. But those two have not really had to step up and be full-time starters. I mean, Gracial did play a lot of snaps last year. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but now he's going to have to be the guy, not even just on the interior, but probably the entire D-line. He has to be the best player on that D-line. Can he step up and do that? I think he's capable of it, but I also thought Kobe Whiteside was capable of it a few years ago, and that was a train wreck. Now, Marquise Gracial, even just physical tools-wise, is leaps and bounds better than Kobe Whiteside. But I think D-tackle is kind of the spot I look at, like, just based off kind of what they lost, not even just at D-tackle, but edge rusher as well. That makes Jalen Marshall and Marquise Gracial 2 X factors in my mind.
Kenny, you agree? Got a different position maybe?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go right tackle. And that's in the case of that the blind side flipped. Right tackle is now the blind side for a left-handed starting quarterback in Austin Simmons. That wasn't a part of Keegan Trosa's duties, but I was trying to find it, and I'm on Pro Football Network's website because Jacob Infante mentioned this to me, that he graded the highest in in some sort of category where he said it was just 99.9. Like they couldn't find anything that, something that Keegan Trost was doing wrong last year. It was just, he was so effective at that spot. And then when you have your projected right tackle, go down with an injury in spring ball, I mean, that just makes this position even more. I'm serious for these next, first couple weeks of the season before, Josh Adkins comes back or whenever he's ready to play, even if that maybe is week 2, or even if he's, back, super early, just week 1. We don't know. There's no real timetable. But I think that right tackle spot's going to be a big one that, we'll have circled for this next season.
I think you two both nailed it. I was hoping those would be the picks because we didn't talk about those 2 guys. Chris McClellan, I mean, you guys, I'm preaching to the choir with you two, with him, and how impactful he was. Super underrated part of that D-line. And then Keegan Trost, you guys called it from the beginning with him that he could maybe have an impact. And he was way better than I think anyone even thought he would be. I even saw a quote from him. I think it was in The Athletic that I read it, that he said, he didn't even realize the draft would be possible for him until, going into last season or midway through last season or what have you. So those are 2 guys that definitely are going to work hard on an NFL team and will be tough to replace. I think he nailed it. I like what they did at linebacker. I think that guy Woodyard from Auburn is going to be a good player. I really liked his addition. I think he'll be in a better functioning defense next season, and I think that will help him. And
there's a good defense at Auburn.
They were good. You're right. I'll give him more credit. And then you talk about Toriano Pride, a guy who's also rose his stock toward the end of the season. Had a really good kind of back half of the year for Mizzou, then ran that super fast 40, got a lot of good physical tools. I like what they did there with Graves. I think he'll be a great addition from Ole Miss. And then receiver, I mean, I have all the Donovan Olubade stock that you can hold. This is a good reminder that I need to go back through Kenny and Kyle's reading. And I put a lot into when other players go out of their way to mention guys who are sticking out in spring and summer and fall camp. And that was why I got so in on Donovan Olubade, because everyone was talking about.
Yeah, I agree, Jack.
My favorite part about this, Jack, is him, talking about the wide receiver that was 0.1 score off of being a 5-star by Rivals. It's they're talking him up. Yeah, I would hope that they would talk up the unheralded.
You don't always
high 4-star. Ooh.
Listen,
I mean, Williams Nwaneri was a 5-star. We didn't hear a thing about him.
Different position. You can make a faster impact at
That's
wide
true,
receiver than you
still.
can at edge.
I just it felt above and beyond. You can go back and read some of the stuff those guys were saying. It felt even more than the typical. I don't know.
Especially when you consider the quarterbacks he was working with, he must have looked real good.
I don't know. There was. The buzz. I think that guy can be incredible if he continues to make a leap.
Did we ever go through? We went through our absurd predictions, right?
I don't think we have. I think we're going to save it.
Oh my gosh, we need to, because I'm pretty sure I was right about Olubade on mine, because mine was about Olubade. Also, editor's note. I'm editor's noting myself. I said I thought Gracial had pass rush juice. He had 0 sacks last year. I don't know what I'm talking about. So maybe he did and just didn't finish, but certainly didn't show up on the stat sheet.
But yeah, I think you guys nailed it though. I mean, especially with it being the blind side now, right? Tackle is going to be vital. And then, yeah, what can the defensive line create, both in being as solid as it was with a guy like McClellan in the interior. And then obviously the edge room is that was the most obvious one. So there you go. There's a little NFL draft in the perspective through Mizzou into next year. And, what it's kind of meant for Drinkwitz to have all these guys get drafted. We'll have to see where they end up, getting picked. So Payton's going slide to day 2. Is that your prediction, Kenny, in the event for Zion Young? Do you have one?
I'll just be different. I'll just say first round, just hedging for Payton. No matter what. I mean, he could be a winner.
Order? Do you want to pick a team?
Sure. I mean, it never happens how you think so in the mock. Who's before the Bears? Does anyone know?
I'm trying to pull up the draft order in front of me. Before the Bears at pick 24 is Cleveland.
Oh, I don't know. This is a pretty loaded edge class from everything I've heard.
Yes.
Let's drop them down. Let's go San Francisco. I've seen that one mocked once before. I'll go 49ers.
Do you think what Kenny and I just saw from your webcam a minute or two ago will show up on the show?
I don't know, because I didn't realize anything was wrong, and then my screen turned black
you
for
were
a second.
on for us.
It was bugging.
Yeah,
it'll probably be fine because it's recording ourselves.
It does. It records all of them
blocks.
locally.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So Kenny and I will just look like idiots.
Peek behind the curtain. All right. There's NFL draft. We do have some men's basketball to chat about because there's been a couple more transfer portal rumblings. No new additions, but a potential departure. And it goes back to the conversation we had on Sunday, and it was so very poorly timed that after we finished recording, this announcement was made. But Jevon Porter is going to seek a new team if he, in fact, gets a extra year of eligibility and gets that waiver. That is still up in the air. That's basically the headline here, but Payton Kenny clears up another roster spot as opposed to Missouri having to worry about him filling that, probably for the best after a injury riddled and not very impactful year with the Tigers. Payton.
Yeah, I mean, there was no reason to count on him coming back anyways. I mean, they recruited well over him. They have added 3 new players to the front court. So I didn't see anywhere he would have fit. It's not his fault. I mean, he got hurt, but there's just, I don't think Missouri could have been in a position where they were going to rely on Jevon Porter next year.
So he's likely out the door. If he's not out the door for eligibility, it's out the door with the transfer. Kenny, I don't know if you have anything on this from Sunday, but there are 2 more names that could potentially be some newcomers.
Nope.
Oh, wait, this is away from my script. Tell me about Jalen Reese. He was linked. Sorry, I'm thinking of the other LSU guy. The one who was the one that committed to was it A&M? No, yeah, it was Jalen. This is Jalen Reese. There's like 5 LSU guards. There's 5 LSU guards in the portal. There's I didn't see the committed.
There's 15 LSU players in the portal.
Yeah, I'm refusing to accept blame for this. Who's the other one?
It's on the screen. I will say that.
I missed the A&M logo. I'm not full screen on mine.
Wait, no, there was an LSU guy. Wait. No, he was a guard.
I thought you were talking about Demery.
No, I'm talking about the Texas A&M guard, Jalen Reese.
No, you know where I got tripped up is because he's committed to A&M, and the guy I was going to talk about is Holloway, who was at A&M before and is now in the portal and talked with Mizzou.
Yeah,
that is where I got
fair, Kenny.
That is where I got messed up.
I'm talking about Texas A&M guard Josh Holloway.
I didn't realize we were even going to talk about Jalen Reese. I didn't write him down on my names because but I guess that news did happen.
Okay, that is your fault because they were linked to him and he committed somewhere else.
Well, see, I don't think about that. Once they go somewhere else, they're off my radar. So the LSU guard Jalen Reese, who was briefly linked to Missouri, went to Texas A&M. So they miss out on a potential portal ad. Good, a decent player at LSU. One of, like Payton said, feels like 27 who have entered the portal. They have no players.
Question.
What?
Jack, how many players are on a college basketball team?
Am
being
I allowed to
hyperbolic.
hyperbolize? Are you just gonna like just single out
27.
every little thing I say? I can't be a little over dramatic on the pod. Jesus.
15 is pretty like dramatic though, too. That's like a lot of people. That's the entire team.
I think it might be the actual number that are
That
gone.
is the right number.
It is. That's why I'm saying that.
Okay, sorry. I need to only use official numbers for Mr. Math here. Jesus. The guard Mizzou is
He's math mogging you.
still linked. The guard Mizzou still is linked to. This has gone off the rails. I don't even care anymore. It's Josh Holloway from Texas A&M. Kenny reportedly visited on Tuesday. Did anything come of that? Not a commitment, clearly.
No commitment. He's West Virginia, scheduled for today and tomorrow. With Reese, though, it looked like that was one being pushed a little bit harder. Dennis Gates visited him on Monday, and he was planning to visit Mizzou, Ohio State, Texas A&M, of course. So there was a good group of schools coming after him, especially in the SEC. But Holloway's one that doesn't probably fit that Reese model. Looks like more of a backup option, and Reese looked like a guy that would probably vie for an opportunity to start games or even possibly, break that rotation a little bit faster than Holloway off the bench. Yeah, we'll see where this one kind of goes. There's 3 spots currently open on the roster.
Yeah, Reese I would have liked. Younger player, pretty good assist to turnover. Thought he would have been the ball handler that I think Missouri still pretty desperately needs. Sucks. I mean, the number that was being thrown around for that A&M offered him was so ludicrous. I just can't believe that it's even accurate. But that's just kind of how it is. I mean, it's the portal. You're not going to bat 1,000. You're unless you're Louisville, apparently. So I mean, Holloway kind of looks like Kenny said. I mean, not the same mold as Reese. I think he's more of a shooter, but I mean, even then, I mean, he hit 40% of his threes last year, but he wasn't even attempting one a game. So I don't know. Definitely a pivot option. I'm not going to panic yet, but it's kind of it is getting time for Missouri to kind of close the deal on an impact guard. And I'm not sure Holloway is still, even with Reese out of the picture, a guy they would prioritize too much.
You make a good point with Reese. I probably shouldn't gloss over that too much. That would have been a very nice addition. A&M's having a really funky transfer portal with
big men to be seen.
With the players that they've added and some of the players they've lost too. Very weird. The other one too that we should throw out is Davion Hannah from Alabama. Big list. I think the teams, what is that? I got it in front of me. Georgetown, Georgia, Mississippi State, Missouri, NC State, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, and Wisconsin. Kenny, you are a saint because you put those in alphabetical order on the article you wrote, which I really do appreciate. Pet peeve of mine when they're out of order on tweets. So Missouri is in there. Interesting option. Was at Alabama, played like 10 games, and then was just put on the red shirt list for them. That's happened to a few of their recruits. I will say Davion Hannah's a player I've known for a while. He's from Milwaukee, went to the same high school as Jalen Johnson, who plays for the Hawks. The Badgers, I think, will be
more.
No, Nicolay. Yep. St. Thomas More is where TJ Otzelberger went to high school.
Yeah, they had a couple recruits there too.
But yeah, I think Wisconsin actually will be involved here. I think it was one of their reporters that actually got the list out. So big list of teams. We'll see. He was a high ranked recruit.
Mizzou was after him pretty heavy, weren't they?
Mizzou was also after him pretty heavy as a recruit, I believe as well.
Yeah, Mizzou finished second. I don't know why that gets swept under the rug of I've seen that before, Payton. People are like, Mizzou was kind of involved. There were people saying that he was going to go to Mizzou. Mizzou was seen as a favorite at one point for him.
I think we've absolutely talked about him on the show.
Because we were talking about, this might happen soon. It was kind of the same thing with JJ Andrews, where we were expecting that one to happen. This one might have changed a little bit faster. We would have known a little bit more ahead of time. But I remember doing a pre-write for him. Like that's how, close
there you
to like
go.
we were kind of expecting that maybe Hannah would choose Mizzou over Alabama.
See that? I even memory hold that. So there you go. I just that the one thing I know about him as a recruit is he's got a ton of Wisconsin connections. Obviously, Oates from there. That's appealing with Alabama. But we'll see. We'll see. That would be definitely a really intriguing addition. What a kind of a long-term upside guy would definitely get minutes, which he wasn't able to find in his first year there. They had a really strong recruiting class too in that group from 2025. So there you go. There's some basketball names. We'll keep an eye. I still have a lot of guys on my list of guards that are still out there. Dennis Gates. I'm just saying. Could be some calls made.
One of the guys on your list committed to NJIT.
Well, like you said,
I made that up. I just wanted to see if you'd believe it.
You can't bat 1,000. I would have believed you. I haven't checked in on any of them. I would be honest. You can't bet 1,000.
He committed to the Rochester Institute in upstate New York.
Is this an Iron Man reference?
No.
I don't know what it's a reference.
Nobody gets
Rochester. There's no reference. It's just a school I don't even think has a basketball team.
Then why would he commit there?
I don't know, Dan.
I would have been more sense with a fake school.
I got your back, Jack.
We should move. Thank you. We should move swiftly on. We'll kick to a short break. Come back with quick hits. Okay, quick hits time. We've got more news to discuss. We've got jerseys of the week to discuss. Kenny's going to discuss the first jersey of the week. People were probably wondering why we didn't talk about this in the departures segment because we're talking about it right now. Kenny, take it away.
My jersey of the week goes to T.O. Barrett, Missouri transfer guard committed to Vanderbilt on Wednesday. Kind of rumors, speculation that he was going to come back to Mizzou. Mizzou Hoops was in his Instagram bio. He swapped that out for a laughing emoji and then his transfer graphic that he collabed with Joe Tipton. Yeah, it's good investigative journalism. And then he removed his transfer graphic collab with Joe Tipton, and some people started to speculate that it was closer and closer to him returning. But no, he's going to stay in the SEC for his junior season and play at Vanderbilt.
For those wondering, the laughing emoji is no longer in his Instagram bio either. It is just blank now. But yeah, I'm not overly shocked he's staying in the SEC. And he played great against Vanderbilt, so I'm sure Byington kind of had that in his mind. I kind of do trust Byington's evaluation of guards, so I do find this interesting because Barrett does not strike me as someone Byington would fall in love with, but I'm interested to see where it goes.
Me too, because I too am a Byington can do no wrong guy, so he clearly sees something here. So Mizzou we will have a T.O. Barrett revenge game next season come conference play. Payton, your jersey of the week.
My jersey of the week is going to be Bryson Tiller. He officially signed, and Missouri announced it and everything. I really only brought this up because I'm curious what you guys think of them putting together the Kansas highlight reel. This was a hotly debated thing on X, the everything app. It all happens on X. This was hotly debated today, and I got to say, I kind of agree that I think Missouri should have done something else here. Either put together a high school mixtape. I saw someone, I don't remember who, suggest like blacking out the Kansas, like every. I know that would have been a lot of work, but I don't know. I kind of feel like this is a situation that called for something special.
That would have been funny if they had done like in the commercial I'd always see around March Madness, they'd show like, I forget what it was for, but they'd show the Northwestern Flute Girl, but they had to take the logos off or whatever because of the copyright.
Villanova, wasn't it?
What?
Was it the crying one?
It was a Villanova, whatever school, but
Villanova.
They had to take the logo off of it or whatever because it would like they're not allowed to use it for whatever company didn't have the rights. If they would have done something like that, that would have been pretty funny, where it was just like a blank, or like you couldn't see it. That would have been a lot of work though. I don't really take an issue with this, to be honest.
Yeah, I think high school, I don't think they should have done high school if they had done something else. I think that still would have gotten some kind of reaction. I think from a LLC perspective and just like media rights, I don't know if they could have done like a blacked out Kansas, because none of this is from a broadcast. This is all
Fair
from
point. Yeah.
an individual person. And I don't know if it's from someone on the Kansas side or, like I said, an LLC who Mizzou bought the rights from to use this, or just has some subscription. I don't know. I just using it from my knowledge of like how MLB can do this stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of funny that it's up there. Everyone else is going to get a highlight package, so I guess they're just sticking to their guns. And just Jameer Jones had a similar thing in this one too. Payton, no threes. Are you worried?
No, he hits a 3 in this one.
Oh, he hits one, so one more than Jameer Jones. There it is. Yeah, one more than Jameer Jones.
But I mean,
two.
Is that the same
so
3?
There's more 3-pointers.
Oh my God!
More 3-pointers.
Mizzou's got a shooter
in the highlight package of Mizzou's starting 4 or 5 than there was of their potential starting 2 card. So make of that what you will. There's still some puzzle pieces to be put in place.
I think that goes right into the piece that Kenny was saying, where it's kind of you get what you get for the whatever. I have no problem with this. I do think it would have gotten only a positive reaction if it was the high school highlights, because you would have had the comments that's like purposely not including his Kansas highlights is crazy work, like something like that, and people probably would have enjoyed that from the admin. But you got a good player from Kansas. Show why he's a good player. My jersey of the week, this is a little bit of a random one, but I just thought it was kind of funny in the spirit of the transfer portal. I'm going to give it to Antoine Jones. And fellas, Antoine Jones could teach us a thing or two about life, because he's older than us. He has more experience. But guess what? He's still playing college basketball. That's right. UNC Greensboro forward Antoine Jones has entered the transfer portal, was a member of the 2018 recruiting class. I'm going to repeat that. The 2018 recruiting class. Other notable names include Zion Williamson, RJ Barrett, and Cam Reddish.
The only likable Duke team.
Who are all in there like 6 seasons of the NBA. Just wild. I'm not sure. I didn't really look into his story. He has there are a couple seasons for him in there where he's only played like 1 or 2 games. So I do feel bad if it's like an injury, situation. He just hasn't has been a little hard on his luck, but pretty wild. There's still a guy who is 26 years old floating around college basketball. Mizzou, maybe make a call.
He can't possibly have eligibility left. I mean, there's just no way.
I will point out Konzo Martin's staff offered Antoine Jackson, and I know that's not the most outrageous thing. Sorry, Antoine Jones. There's a edge rusher in the 2027 class named Antoine Jackson who's considering Mizzou. With Antoine Jones, though, Alabama maybe. But yeah, the Konzo Martin thing, and I was thinking about this today. Konzo Martin's last group that he recruited would be seniors traditionally this year. So really any of the last guys he recruited at Mizzou should be out of college basketball by now.
That is wild.
Do you think, Kenny, it was Chris Hollander or Cornell Mann that offered him?
You could name any other assistants.
Assistant is your favorite.
You could name any other assistants besides those two, and you could make up a name right now and tell me that he was an assistant. I would say, yeah, sure.
Michael Porter Sr.
That doesn't count.
I'm gonna eventually do my own Ken Sports Shorts, and it's gonna be full of Konzo Martin assistants or just basketball assistants.
No idea.
And you have to tell me if they were a Konzo Martin assistant at Mizzou or not.
I'm gonna keep it 100. I didn't know who those 2 people you said were. I don't know a single one. No idea.
Konzo Martin assistant or 2019 Washington National. That's how we're gonna guess. We're gonna play that game. You can't play with me though, because I would know. But you should do that with Jack. Just find like someone who pitched an inning and a third in July for the Nationals.
Justin Miller, Jack. National or Konzo assistant?
I'm gonna go National.
Correct. He's a Washington National.
Boom. I'm 1 for 1. All right.
I like no capping. He's the main bird.
Moving swiftly on, we have the Shawnee's Man Bird of the Week. Oh, I said it that voice.
My Sean East Man of the Bird of the Week goes to Ashton Daniels. He was named the starting quarterback for Florida State this upcoming season. Bird Connection, War Eagle at Auburn. The only reason I'm bringing this up is that Mizzou was considering Ashton Daniels at one point, and it was still around the same time that felt like Austin Simmons was already a lock. What did I do?
No, you didn't do
Nothing
anything.
You did.
You didn't
Nothing
do anything.
you did. It's what Florida State
It's just
did.
what's him looking.
Oh, I thought I
at.
said the wrong team name or something,
No,
and
no,
I
no.
just totally missed it. But yeah, that Mizzou was considering him, and it seemed more like a backup competition role, maybe something like Nick Evers was in, and not a starter. Because Austin Simmons looked like he was a sealed deal at that point, even though nothing was officially announced.
So
Oh my God.
it's been Jordan Travis, and then it was Uyangalele.
DJ,
Yeah.
Who was after him?
Castellanos.
BC,
Castellanos,
transfer.
and now Ashton Daniels.
This team 13 years ago
It's incredible.
had Jameis Winston winning the Heisman, and now they are announcing Ashton Daniels as their starter in April. April! They don't even need a fall camp.
Did Florida State? That's a good thing to point out. Did Florida State even announce this? Because this is a report.
I mean, that is so bad, man.
What happened to Brock Glenn? I liked Brock Glenn.
You're the only
Oh,
one.
there it is. Oh boy, that's not a good ratio.
100 replies.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not going to scroll any further. I don't trust.
Yeah, probably not a good idea. Them and Laker fans, we just shouldn't.
I
mess with.
cannot.
With
Like,
responses.
it's unbelievable this team went 13-0 a few years ago. It really is, because this has become it's sad, honestly. Like,
It is.
I really do like seeing Florida State be good at football, because that's like ingrained into my childhood. But this is just on. And I'm sorry it's coming off as I'm being very mean to Ashton Daniels, but I'm going to be really mean to Ashton Daniels. This is unbelievable that he's starting for Florida State.
I think it's like I don't know. Yeah, I won't go too much further with it. It says a lot about Florida State. It's a tough. Castellanos didn't help with the amount of trash he talked to when he was their starter.
He backed it up against Alabama.
That is
he
true.
backed it up one time.
That is true.
I'll add on to what Payton's saying about the image of Florida State. I wanted to go to Florida State because of Jameis Winston. There was times like when I was in 8th grade looking up the acceptance rate of out-of-state students and what it would cost as an 8th grader because I wanted to go to the school. I had a BCS championship hat for Florida State as well. I sold it in high school. I just figured I didn't need it anymore. Very big regret.
Yeah, I mean, kind of building off that, Kenny. I mean, when I was growing up, I have to bring up that I lived in North Carolina again. But because of that, like, I'd watch NC State and, like, Florida State just have these wars on, like, and it was like like, people around there took it really seriously. So, like, I kind of grew up just kind of, like, all around FSU football, kind of knowing all about it. And so, like, I have, like, in the same way, I like have a lot of like not love per se, but like respect for like the research triangle basketball programs. I have a lot of like deep admiration and like want to see Florida State football be good. And I don't know, it's just this is bumming me out.
It's tough for them. Who's your main bird, Payton?
My main bird, this is where we kind of pretty much covered all our bases here in the opening segment. My bird was just the Eagles because I had to pick a bird. This was kind of going back to what I was talking about. I was just looking through all these mock drafts. No Zion Young. Very weird. I'm not sure why all of a sudden he's kind of fallen off, but we'll see what happens. It's kind of what happened with Luther last year as well. Luther kind of tailed off and eventually fell to the second round. That might be what's happening with Zion, which is a shame.
That is what happened with it. You make a good point. Sometimes that's just how it goes. Yeah, I didn't throw the Seahawks in the ring for him. That has the sorry. I'm tricked by that because they have him picking an edge rusher. But I did read one guy on Yahoo mock Zion Young. So.
That's good, at least.
Yeah, maybe he'll go to the Super Bowl champs. That would be very fun. I'm not going to get my hopes up. All right, you can solo screen me for this if you want to. I won't talk into the void for too long. Well, actually, you should there you go. Put the tweet back up there. My main bird of the week. All right, hear me out. I am talking about something you will know about, but my main bird of the week, I'm going to give it to Crystal Palace FC. They are a soccer club in the Premier League, for those who don't know. And their mascot is the Eagles. Thus is my bird connection. This tweet is also about them. It's my bird connection. Over the last 10 seasons, they have finished every position in the Premier League table between 15th and 10th, as you can see from this tweet. In that time, Leicester City, who you and Kenny will know this, Payton. Both of you will know that team. They, of course, had one of the most famous upsets in sports history to win the Premier League back in 2016, 10 years ago. And on the 10-year anniversary of that, they are about to go down, not to the second tier, to the third tier of English soccer. They have had quite the fall off. It's a big story, and they were obviously like that became like kind of international headlines when they won. It was pretty crazy. They had like 10,000 to 1 odds to ever win. And basically in the decade that has followed, they have like had horrible financial ruin, and like it's actually pretty tragic. Their owner, who was really great, passed away, and people who inherited the club just have not been able to like keep them afloat, and they're like financially unstable, and now they're about to get relegated twice in a row. So they were in the Premier League 2 seasons ago. They got relegated this year. They're about to get relegated all the way down to the third tier, 10 years after winning in one of the greatest sports stories ever. So that's my connection. It was a big enough soccer story that I thought I could squeeze it in.
I do remember that like vividly in high school, because my what you'd call homeroom, we called tutorial teacher, was the soccer coach for the school, and so they'd talk soccer a lot. So I do remember the Leicester City story.
Dude, tutorial teacher sounds like AI.
I don't know why they called it tutorial. It was just like a 30 minutes you sit down.
Yeah, I had that too, but it was advisory for me.
The way you phrased that too made it sound like you were from another country, like you were in like Luxembourg. Yeah. Like instead of calling it history, we call it something else. Tutorial. It's just funny.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, I don't mean to make fun of Park Hill South. Go Panthers.
I'm not bothered. It's okay.
But yeah, pretty crazy story. Pretty sad what's happened to them. But hey, sometimes the like this tweet shows, sometimes it's just better to be mediocre all the time. Just safe. Best things you learned. Payton, what did you learn?
Best thing I learned this week. It's finally happened. I literally joked about it like a couple weeks ago. Missouri is playing a game against Marquette. That's not a secret, and it's going to be on television. John Rothstein broke the news. Missouri and Marquette are finalizing an agreement to meet in a neutral site game on November 15th at the United Center. Our long national nightmare is over. Dennis Gates is scheduling really, really cool non-con games on his own accord. He's not being forced to play Kansas, Illinois, and an ACC team. He went out and did this on his own. I think it's great. I think Marquette is the perfect kind of opponent you want. They're not going to be downright elite, but they're going to be a very beatable team.
That is a good. I'm glad you pulled that up, Kenny. That Marquette was in their rankings. That is a. You know what's really interesting about that? It was November 15th, right?
Yeah.
November 15th is a Sunday.
Even better.
Yeah, isn't that a kind of more of a normal thing? It's early on in the year with those neutral site games, because it's gonna be at the United Center, right?
Yeah, United Center.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm very strongly considering going to this. I'm pretty excited this is happening. Obviously, Payton has been talking about it for years. We've heard the secret scrimmages. It is well documented, certainly among our circles. I've probably mentioned it on here. I do not like Marquette very much, so to see the Mizzou have the opportunity to maybe knock them off in a real game is exciting for me.
It's Shaka Smart too.
Yeah, you guys have a great Shaka story.
I love Shaka Smart. VCU, I saw his last game in person at Texas, that is.
Yeah, so, yeah. Oh, look at the first reply to that tweet is Marquette at 25, and it's the polar bear. Maybe it's making fun of him. Good.
I've never seen that road in Arlington.
First-hand account. Kenny, what'd you learn?
Best thing I learned this week is that a former Missouri women's basketball player, Chloe Sotel, will finish out. No, not finish out. She's got 2 more years of eligibility with Maryland.
Could finish out.
Yeah. She came in from don't remind Cleveland State.
Nope. That's Jordan Rise now.
Yeah. Don't tell me. Oh man, I know this. Give me a hint. Rutgers.
Nope.
Different player. Oh my God. Give me a hint. Give me a color.
Orange.
Oh my gosh.
Be funny if it was Syracuse.
West Coast Conference.
It's not. Pepperdine.
Yes, Pepperdine.
I just got them all jumbled up.
Go Waves.
Maryland's traditionally a very good women's basketball school, aren't they?
Yeah, didn't Angel Reese start there?
Angel Reese?
Yeah.
First school for Angel Reese.
I will point out Shannon Dow was going to Cal. I don't think we mentioned that before.
No, I don't think we did either. That one was a tough one.
Yeah. Should be.
Oh man. This is the best unwritten rule episode we've ever put together, guys. I promise. And Kenny's muted now.
My bad.
This is it might be worst produced episode ever.
It's not even a production issue. Yeah,
it's nothing Jack can do.
Okay, my best thing I learned. This is going to be a really interesting show edit because who knows if I'm even going to remember where the issues happened. My best thing I learned: Mizzou softball, and specifically Marissa McCann has made history, folks. The Tigers knocked off the recently added opponent, SIUE Cougars, 7-0 on Wednesday. And Marissa McCann recorded the 13th perfect game in Mizzou softball program history. The first since 2022. Very exciting. 11 strikeouts. The last player to do that or record a perfect game, not 22 strikeouts specifically. Lauren Krings, of course, noted iconic Mizzou softball player, did it against Bradley in that 2022 season. First time since 1991 that Missouri has had a perfect game and a no-hitter against the same opponent in the same season. Can't believe that's happened actually before. Third time ever. Very exciting for Marissa McCann. Good for Missouri. Nice little boost for them to get back above 500, and then they are going to head to Bogle Park in Fayetteville, Arkansas this weekend for a big series against the Razorbacks. They've got Arkansas. Then they have another midweek game. Maybe they can have another perfect game against UMKC, and then they finish off against the Tennessee Vols to end the regular season. So hopefully it can be a big home stretch for Mizzou softball. They need it to try and make the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, fighting hard after that pretty terrible non-con start they had. They've improved. I mean, they're much better than last year, but I mean, for them, if they don't make the tournament, that's a total letdown compared to where they were just even a few years ago. So hopefully they can, fight through the last few games. They've been pretty okay in SEC play from what I've seen.
It's kind of a floor thing with them, the tournament, along with like wrestling, gymnastics, some of those other teams. They just need to be NCAA tournament bound every year, in my opinion. So
keep the SIUE rivalry alive in all sports, by the way.
Yes.
That should be yearly in every sport.
I agree. I
want to play them in football in December.
All right. Best beats of the week to finish off the show. Presented by FanDuel. As always, we've got another theme. Kenny, you want to introduce the theme with what you did when we briefly paused?
Yeah, I guess we're doing the same game here, but I'm assuming you're doing a prop.
No,
LeBron.
you were supposed to yell LeBron.
Oh.
There you go. Our precious king is the theme of the best beats of the week this week. Do you want me to go first? I kind of a trailblazer.
Sure, you go first. Okay, I'm taking Cavaliers by 3 over the Raptors. I'm doing that simply because I've been alive 25 years. And I don't think I've ever seen the Raptors beat the Cavaliers in a playoff game like that. I know they have once when they were in the Eastern Conference Finals, but it's been so few and far between that Kenny was really hoping this series was tied 1-1.
No, I look at the date and the time on it.
Yeah, we're recording on Wednesday.
Okay.
The beat will be resolved by the time you are watching.
We've done that before. We did it last week, I think.
With what?
The Hornets. Wasn't the play-in that night?
No.
Well, I'm taking it anyways. I'm not changing it.
Is it Cavs -3 or Cavs plus?
Yeah,
3?
Cavs -3.
No, Cavs -3.
Look here, everybody. I'll show you all. Okay, Wednesday, April 23rd, 10:37 p.m. Yeah, you're right there. I won't show Kenny because he's ashamed of his alma mater. So everybody knows I'm being an integrity-driven man here.
I do think this is a good bet, Payton. The Cavs are a terrible matchup for the Raptors. Kenny, do you want to just share your beat? Because Payton already jumped me.
Yeah. I'm going to take Lakers plus 9.5 on Friday against the Rockets. Lakers are up 2-0 in this series. I'm sure anyone that's been following the NBA playoffs has seen this post from ESPN, but LeBron James has never lost a playoff series after going up 2-0. He's 24-0 in his career. He's playing with his son. I think they're going to get it done against the Houston Rock Duns.
I am shocked by this line.
No
Is
faith
this
in your
really
Rockets.
the line?
Yeah, it's 9.5. It's in Houston. I don't know if that
It doesn't
changes.
matter.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
no.
embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, still no Luka, still no Austin Reeves. Houston
So
doesn't
what?
have KD.
It didn't matter the first 2 games.
They got Bronny.
Yeah,
And
I
KD
mean, it
was
might
back
not matter for
game
game
2,
three.
was he not?
What?
KD was back for game 2, was he not?
That's what I'm saying. So that would increase the line.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, he was back for game 2, and they still lost.
Hey, so you would take the bet too? You'd take the Lakers.
I'm shocked by this line.
There you go.
It feels like a trap.
It could be, but Kenny's taking it against his
Rockets.
Rockets. Kenny, I
the
might be
Bettors
with you.
don't know that Bronny's not playing. Maybe someone knows something.
Jack, what's your thought on Kevin Durant's legacy? Do you think it's a good one?
This is definitely a trap because you and Kenny both know I like
This
it.
is like early stages of when this show got off the air, and we were talking about Carmelo Anthony and if his number should be retired.
Which, by the way, I am 100% correct about. It should not.
I like Kevin Durant. I don't know.
So you're not at all concerned at his borderline hilariously bad performance outside of playing with Steph Curry in the playoffs?
No, I mean,
really,
he's one of the best scorers of all time.
One of the best scorers of all time that can't lead his team to the conference finals.
He led his team to the finals.
That was before when he was young.
Oh my gosh, Jack, what's your bet?
I'm not doing this.
Made it to the second round.
I cooked up a little parlay. I'm on Team Kenny here with the Lakers, and shout out Bron. Lay King, Lay Goat has the stat going around was he has it's triple doubles or 25 and 10 in the playoffs, and it's like LeBron after 30 and LeBron before 30 are like number 1 and number 3. And with that in mind, I've got a parlay cooked up. LeBron over 24.5 points and over 6.5 rebounds. He's going to do it again in Houston, folks. and the Lakers are going to go 3-0 up, and they're going to be able to rest Luka just in time to play the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are on my television right now, currently beating the Phoenix Suns by 23 points. So there's my Braun parlay. Thank you, King. That game too. I was so excited with the Luka injury that we were going to get I was hoping we were going to get an awesome LeBron game. And it was very great to see that happen in game 2. He was so electric. Had a reverse dunk at 41.
Someone could clip what you just said. You said you were very excited about the Luka injury.
Oh, sorry. I meant with the Luka injury, I was hopeful we'd get a good LeBron game. I don't wish injury. I don't root for injuries, but that was pretty awesome. We got a vintage LeBron performance.
I respect LeBron a lot for this playoff run, more than I respect
LeBron.
any of Kevin Durant's playoff runs in the past.
I don't need to get in an argument about Kevin.
This one comes from our favorite TV series, The Today Show. Guys, why did the cowboy adopt a wiener dog? Why did the cowboy adopt a wiener dog?
Didn't you do this one?
You can't think of the answer.
Why am I getting deja vu here?
I don't know.
I've used the same document for 3 years. It's possible.
I don't know. Why did the cowboy
adopt a wiener dog? He wanted to get along, little doggy.
Nice.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Hey, Payton, I have one for you. I test drove this with Kenny.
Kenny is so ready to go to bed, dude. Look at him.
No. He's
Thank
upset.
you, Sarah, by the way.
No, it's the jokes.
I
oh my
told him the
gosh,
joke
I forgot
already.
about this.
Okay.
Hey, Payton,
Yeah.
what do you call a bird that plays baseball?
A blue jay. Cardinal. What?
A foul ball.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one.
See? Thank you.
I like
Thank
that.
you.
That's a good joke.
Thank you for
That's a good
appreciating
one.
my joke. Kenny did not think that was funny.
Kenny, did you not get
Say
it?
the other one. No, say the other one. The other one is the one I didn't like.
What do you call a shout out Jevon Pickett the squirrel? Kind of in relation. What do you call a squirrel head football coach?
I don't know. What do you call a squirrel head football coach?
Better question might be squirrel. No. What do you call a squirrel head football coach?
Bruh.
Okay. This is going to be a ridiculous ending to the show.
If you're still watching, we love you dearly.
What do you call a squirrel head football coach, Payton?
I don't know. What do you call a squirrel head football coach?
Todd Chipmunkin.
That sucks. That's terrible.
I said a nut job when he texted me this the other day. I didn't.
Oh, like the movie.
Yeah, thank you.
Will Arnett, yeah.
I said Todd Chipmunkin. Kenny replied boo, and I replied back with the gif of Tim Hardaway that's gone viral of him yelling on the floor like this.
Have you ever seen that video of this mom? She just bought stuff from Walmart.
Oh boy, I don't know. I don't want to know.
He was going to talk about the Chewbacca mask from 2013 that was viral on Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have a question though before we get off here.
Question?
This has been the longest recording session in history.
Unwritten finish question.
Knowlton.
Yes.
Do you have a nickname?
Oh no. Yeah. No, I don't. I've been looking for one.
Can I suggest one?
Yeah. Go for it.
The Emerald City Route Artist.
Oh, that's a good one. Kenny, you knew I was never going to turn down Bring It Up.
Seattle.
Oh,
you guys know how many times Knowlton has been to Seattle in his life? Goose egg.
What are you?
Dang it! I was hoping it was 0.
I went to a Seahawks game.
Did we know you?
No. I was at the Fail Mary game.
Oh, that's right. No, I've definitely heard that.
I did know that.
Yeah. I've heard that.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Just
Fair enough.
really
I'd
far
be a
away.
Seahawks fan after that too.
I was,
and also probably after the Super Bowl they won. Bandwagon.
I'm not doing this. Not a bandwagon. Am enjoying my 2 Super Bowls though. Thank you everyone for watching, listening. Hopefully the recording isn't screwing up again without my knowledge. This is going to be one of the worst edits of all time. Not very excited to do that. But luckily at 10:47 on Wednesday night, I can just sign off and I can wait till Thursday and I don't have to do it right now. Thank you for everyone for sticking with us. If you watched the entire show, I commend you. I almost want to give you like a code word and say, I'll Venmo you $1 if you repeat it in the comments, but I'm not going to do that because people can cheat. So with that, I will sign off. Thank you everyone for watching and listening. We'll have more stuff, probably some post-draft recap. I'm sure some more transfer portal happenings as well. So thank you again for watching and listening. We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.